So welcome back to another tutorial on my channel. Today we have like a really fun project we're going to be building. It's going to be with Astro JS. I'm sure a lot of people heard about Astro JS, what it does. It's been a little bit of a hype a couple of months back. So I was thinking maybe we take a look into it, learn it together, see how it works out. And into this project, we're going to be doing a little bit of a portfolio work. Now, style-wise, it's not gonna be that fancy, but you guys can get the idea. You can go crazy from here. I will give you some basic tools to use Astro. So let's go over with the project a little bit here. We have some what do you call Navbar here. We are using Astro Nav, by the way. They have like a lot of cool integration. So Astro is really like all-in-one framework, designed for speed, pull your content from anywhere, deploy everywhere, and all powered by your favorite UI component and library. So it's basically language agnostic. At this point, you can use a basic HTML and make a website with it. You don't even need to use CSS. And then if you want to use some library or framework, you can integrate. If you want to use React, you can use Angular, you can use Vue. Like it's pretty cool what you can do with it. So I use something called Astro Navigation. They have like an integration somewhere here. We'll look into it later. So I also use Typed.JS. Typed.JS is like a package that helps you type animation here. We use CSS Grid to do the layout. It also mobile friendly right now, so pretty cool. For styling, we're using Tailwind CSS. Astro have right here the most popular one, of course, Tailwind CSS integration. Then on the project, we are doing some dynamic routes in here. So these are dynamic route. We don't have a single page for any of this. It's dynamic, so if you click, it's just grabbing some of the props and just paste it in here. It have the same template. So yeah, pretty cool. It's a get static path, similar to Next.js if you guys are coming from Next.js. So we're going to be using that here. And we have a simple about page, nothing fancy, but a couple of things are also working under the hood. For example, we are using Astro SEO, which is like Astro integration. You can see over here. So it kind of like makes your it makes it easy to add SEO relevant tags to your Astro apps. So you can see over here at the about page, I added something right here. So SEO description, some things about John Doe. We can add up proper details later on. But yeah, SEO friendly makes it really easy to make your website more discoverable and SEO friendly, of course. So this is the project. Make sure this is like a simple framework, like a building block. You can go a bit nicer with the styling, but yep. Let's without further ado, let's get started with our Astro project. So first thing first, open up the VS Code, of course. So I have my Astro project built almost like Astro file in here. I create a file called astro.port, which is portfolio. And then we're going to start building this. So copy this, npm create Astro at latest. It's going to install the latest version of it. So I click enter. Why, yes. Let's call this Astro. Create a new project. I'll just create it in my current directory. Include sample file. Let's do empty. Let's start from scratch in here. Install dependencies. We are not going to be doing some TypeScript. It's a simple portfolio, so we're not going to do anything. No Git repository. Yes, so Git repository, so I can share with you guys. So there you go. So you have like a nice UI in here, a GUI. So it's really well put together. So we are ready to lift off right now. Lift off, confirm, explore your project. So let's discover a little bit of Astro. So what is Astro? It's an all-in framework designed for speed. I talked to you about you guys a little bit earlier. It's full speed. It's like all about speed. because it ships with zero JavaScript, so they don't have a single JavaScript going on in here. So super fast. You say over here, zero JS frontend architecture to unlock higher conversion rate, conversion rate with better SEO. So you can see it's faster than all the other framework and libraries here. It's more content focused. It's very made mainly for like blogs, like portfolios, simple e-commerce, and some agency and marketing. So very SEO friendly. You can integrate CMS, and you can also do Markdown. So it's very super easy to fetch data. Zero waste, zero to website, and it's pretty fast. So you can like bring your own tool, which is pretty cool, because if you are a React fanboy like me, like I use React all the time, you can bring React. Like you can use Astro, but at the same time you can have like one page that is a React page, and you can use React on that page. It's pretty cool. So you can do that. You can deploy anywhere. Deploying is pretty well explained in here. So you can deploy Vercel, Netlify, any popular deployment. Super easy to deploy as well. So yeah, Astro is kind of like a framework all in one, and it have like a lot of cool features that you can do. And we're slowly going to, so let's look at some of the key features of Astro JS. Component island is a new web architecture for building faster website. That means everything you see on the front end is going to be almost like a static, or statically generated. So that means only small portion of it will be a server design, server side API design, which is the second point. So everything that you load on the component island is going to be very fast, super fast, and then you have small chunks of island which are like a JavaScript heavy. So it's like only small part of this, and the website will decide which one to load. If it's on the viewer screen, then we load that particular thing. If it's not, it doesn't. So that's what it means by component island. You can go to a website pattern.dev to learn a little bit more about this. Server first API design is everything is pretty much moved outside of client's user device. So if you scroll, only some items will load when you scroll, otherwise it won't load at all. So that means it makes things a little bit more faster, and zero JavaScript, edge friendly, like we talked about, customization, UI agnostic. So you get the ideas of it. Let's jump into our project, instead of going and rambling all around the doc. So the fun part begins right now, where we are going to be building our project. So I will do is, first thing first, we have a page in here, and in the page we have our index.astro. So Astro file have like Astro extension. Also, one thing you might need to do is install the Astro plugin in here on the VS Code if you're using VS Code. So it gives you the syntax. So we have the Astro folder in here, and I will run npm run dev to start our Astro project. So on the localhost, we have that. Now, one thing I have to mention is everything inside the pages is file-based routing. So for example, you have about.astro, and then we drive some h1 called Astro about, and then we go to about page, Astro about appears. So everything inside is file-based routing first and foremost. And then one thing you see, I just wrote an h1 and that's it. It kind of looked very weird, but that's how Astro kind of working right now. So you can just write a simple HTML, and then it will just render it on the front end of browser. So we have that. And they also have something called the front matter here. So you can like to cons, let's say cons name. You can write JavaScript in here like you do on the React or any JavaScript file. Name is John, and then you can just type in here name, and it will appear here as John. So you can do that kind of stuff in here. So front matter is basically you importing some libraries. You can do that. You can do some simple JavaScript in here. Yeah, basically setting things up. You do everything in here. And here is always like the HTML, CSS. The way you write CSS, you do some style and then write CSS. So, yep, that's the setup of the Astro file. The first I'm going to do is we are going to create like a layout. So we have like a nice layout, and we don't like put all of this in our index file. So we have like a nice way of presenting things. So let's start with our layout folders. Now in our layout folders, I'm going to create something called main layout .astro, and we are going to be start experimenting right here. And the first thing we do is we create HTML, not HTML right there, and then I'll create a body, of course, and then we're gonna start bringing some component in here. And one thing I want to put here is something called a slot, SLOT. Now, slot element is a placeholder for external HTML content. So basically, whenever we pass in a child, this will be injected over here. So for example, we are also going to be using some props in here. So I will show you in a minute how to do that. So on the front matter, this place is called front matter. We are going to be doing some cons is equal to astro.props. So we have our props in here, and then whatever we type in on the main layout, it will be generated in this section. So we can do something like here. Let's do some props. Not a good name, but we just do that, right? Now what it's going to do is on the index file, we can bring that in here, and we can do some kind of like a main layout. So we bring in the main layout, and then cut that off, and then we do is this is our index page. Now the index page is injected over here. See, this is what is the slot. Now if you were to pass in a props, we can do in here some props is equal to a simple props, and you see it will appear over here, a simple props. This is basically some props is taking in the props from some props on the main layout, which is this, and then injecting it over here as well. So that's how the props in Astro works. Just to give you an overview, it's not a good use case, but you get the idea. Now, for the layout, we want the head element of the HTML as well, but for that, we are going to be having another layout component for that specific only, because we're incorporating SEO. So we do this by doing main head.astro, and here we have a lot of stuff working for us. So we are going to be doing is right here, head, and I think HTML already have couple of HTML head in there, so we're gonna use that. And no body, we don't need the body, just a head, and that's it. So okay, cool. So this part we are going to be automating the title, which is going to be handle for us. So you can do here is title, we make it into a props, and here we can do cons title is equal to astro props. So we have the title coming in, I'm going in here, which is cool. And then we are also going to be doing some SEO. So I think this is the place where we start integrating SEO instead of some later version of things. So let's jump into the integration. They have our integration right here. You can find down here, we have Astro SEO. You can go ahead and install that in a different terminal. So once we have that installed, we are going to be importing the SEO over to our main head. And we are also going to be taking in some couple of different props for the SEO. So we're gonna do a SEO title, SEO description, and then we're going to be putting in here. So we have like a SEO tag in here from that source. We have SEO tag. Now you can go a little bit crazy on this. They have like a lot of different, I don't know, fields to put your SEO stuff in, but we're just gonna do the title and description for this portfolio's project. But you can definitely do more research and go a little bit overboard on that. So first thing we're gonna do is title. For title, we're gonna do SEO title from the prompt. For description, we're gonna do SEO description. So SEO set up there. We have a title set up, which is cool. Now we need to bring this into the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here, main head, and there we have it, right? Main head. So title is going to be coming from the main layout title props. So we have a title props for that. We're also going to have a SEO title in here. So we can do SEO title for different pages. And we can do SEO description. And here we can do SEO description here as well. And we bring those in as from here as well. So SEO description, SEO title, there we go. So we have that set up. Now we have to do is go back here. You see it's showing up some error because we need to change some of those stuff on our index page. Some prop doesn't exist anymore, but we have a couple of new props that exist now. So let's see here. Okay, so we have here, take that out, some props out of that. So we have a title. So let's do a title in here, and let's do John the portfolio site, and you can see the title changes automatically because the title is being injected in here on the head, and that is being injected onto the title here. That is cool, but right now we don't have any SEO. Let's type in some SEO as well. So SEO title would be, title would be what they did, very descriptive title, some description there, right? So we can do similar things like that. So title would be on the software engineer portfolio, and for the SEO description we're gonna write software engineer who expertise in React, Astro, using Astro, remember React, Next.js, and let's say, and Node. So there we have it. We have a title. Now let's go to our inspect, and we can see on the head we have a title, John Doe's software engineering portfolios, which is coming from here, SEO title, and we also have a SEO description somewhere, I believe right here. So a software engineer who expertise in Astro React Next.js. So this way is a lot more easier to for people to find you. So we have like a nice SEO built in. So that's out of the way. We kept it really clean and tidy. You know, like we have like a head that only does the SEO stuff and the title stuff, and the layout, we only have the slot for now, which is injecting anything that we type in here. So any children goes into the slot here, which is pretty cool. We are coming up into census here. So next thing we do is we are going to be some fonts, some Google fonts. Let's incorporate that into our heading here. So I go to Google Fonts, and then we have Google Font. I think there was one that was trending a little bit. It's called Carlito. We can do that maybe. Let's see which one is. but you guys can go see something that you like. I'll do Carlito. I think that was like a trending one. So when I was experimenting with that, you can also do this. This is really nice as well. But yeah, I'll do the Carlito, which is somewhere in my right here. So we have a Carlito font, and all I'm going to do is copy that and paste it in the head. So let's do here. So we have the Carlito font loaded up using from the CDN, which is cool. We have that up and running. So next thing we are going to be doing is using that font in most of our cases. So once we have that incorporated, we can go to the layout, the font, and then we can like add in a style in here. So we can do style, and then here we have the styling, and then we can do body for the font family. We are going to be doing the Carlito, and then sans serif, and we also add a minimum heights in there just in case. So we have height, minimum height is equal to 100 ph. So let's go back to our project. We have the index font coming in. So I'll go to the font here, refresh the page. The font, it's not able to detect, but you can see the font changes. So we have the font change. This my plugin will probably start detecting soon, but no big deal. But the font changes. We have the Carlito font added to it. And the next thing we're going to be doing is spice things up a little bit. Starting with our index page, we are going to be bringing the Tailwind as well. So let's go ahead and install Tailwind. So we have Astro Tailwind here, and they have a way to install it. So we're going to do this npx Astro add Tailwind in our second terminal. Now you notice one thing. There's a file called Astro config. This is where most of the configuration will happen. If you are integrating React, Tailwind, this is where things gonna happen. So you see it's telling Astro will generate a Tailwind config, which is good. Let's do that. Now you see you also make some changes on some config is going to do that. Astro will make the following changes to config in here, which is going to be integrating Tailwind automatically for us. So it did right now. So you see they imported a Tailwind, and then here it did the integration. So when you have a React, we will do something similar to this if you wanted to React integration or any other stuff. So we have Tailwind integrated, and we should be good to go. So let's try out some of the Tailwind stuff and see if it's working. Let's go here on the index, and let's do paragraph tag here. Paragraph, and then we add some class in here for text to Excel. So to Excel comes in. Tailwind is working as we wanted. Pretty cool, awesome work, guys. We have the Tailwind integrated. Now comes the juicy stuff where we start integrating some our styling. So most of the styling will be applied in the layouts and the main stuff. So we're going to be adding some style in here. So let's do on the body of the main layout. I'm going to do is do some background color. You guys can experiment from now on, but I'm going to do some of my styling that I think was okay, all right, I guess. Text of white. So background, a little bit of slate, bluish, black, dark, and then we have the text to white. We are also going to be using grid templates, so we're going to start adding that a little bit later. But you get the idea. We have something going on in here, and then we are going to be doing is jumping into the index to do some more styling. So let's go to the index, and here we're going to start writing our style. I will do a div here, and There we go. And then we're gonna have some classes in here. And for the classes, we are going to be doing width of, let's say, 6 by 12. It's a Tailwind height width. If we type in something, we will see it in action. And then we have MX to auto, so margin left and right would be auto. So we have the width from here somewhere around here, so 6 by 2 is a Tailwind width, and the margin left and right to be auto, so we have like a nice margin on the left and the right side. So that's out of the way. So now we can do is we create some h1 tag to welcome people into our website. Of course, oops, that should not be it. There we go. So hey, I am going to have an emoji, and then I'm going to do I am John. Yo, very common name, I guess. So let's add in some styling here. We are going to be doing some text of, let's say, 6XL. Now, since we are doing a mobile for, like, Tailwind is a mobile first development, so this is happening on the mobile first. If we are trying to do, like, let's say 5 on mobile, I think that makes a little bit more sense, looks better. And on the mobile, we definitely don't want that kind of width, so we want a little bit of a better width. So let's do 8 by 12. I'm not sure that's a Tailwind width, but we will see. So 8 by 12, yes, that works. And the mobile on the development, we have a better higher width. So on the mobile first design, this is affecting first. Whenever we go to bigger screen, we do MD and then we type in what we want for the bigger screen. This time we want the bigger font. So on the bigger screen, we have bigger font, and smaller screen, we have smaller font. So that makes sense. So that's the gist of the mobile first responsive design, which Tailwind takes in approach. We also want the text to be center instead of waving to one side. So we have it in center, nice and easy. And that's about it. We're gonna add some coloring a little bit later. I think that's gonna be the final touch of everything. And okay, one thing we forgot was definitely the navbar. So let's do the navbar. We are going to create a folder in here called components, which we're going to keep all our components in here. Let's do a nav.astro, nice and easy. And in here, we're going to be doing some Astro Navbar. They have like an integration in here. Like, I don't want to spend too much time building a navbar and doing all the grid stuff. So I think Astro have like a nice navbar integration, which is quite cool, awesome. So we're gonna use that. So Astro headless navigation bar. Astro Navbar is a fully accessible, responsive headless navigation bar for Astro. It supports mobile responsive toggle and drop down, which is super awesome. So we're gonna install that on my second terminal. My first terminal is running as always. So second terminal, install the navbar, and we're going to be importing that. So do the front matters. Oops. I'm not sure why my tab is not working on the keyboard, but we have the front matter down. And in here, we're going to be importing the navbar, right? So let's go ahead and do this, copy that. We probably are not going to do drop down, so I'm going to take that off. So we need astronav, menu items, and menu icon from that. So, yep. So we found that. Remember, integration is a really cool place where you can find some stuff that you can use on the Astro website. So I highly recommend you search things that you think could be interesting to your portfolio. I know icon could be a good thing. I didn't add icon, but yeah, you have a lot of cool integration in here, definitely. So yeah, let's start writing in our header. So header, we have, my tab is not working. Okay, get used to that. So header, we have a header tag open, and then we have header there. And inside that, we're gonna have the Astro nav like that. And this is where the Astro nav closes out. And then in the middle, we have some div, of course. So we have some divs and that div closers as well. And in that div, we have some anchor element. Now, one thing to note, if you're coming from Next.js or React Router, it's like we don't have any link for the Astro. Everything in Astro is done by using the simple anchor tag you use on the HTML. So there's that. So they might roll out something like a link soon. I'm not sure, but this is how you do the link from now. So we have a link, and then we're going to create a div as well in here. And for that div, we're going to be doing is a menu icon, which is coming from the Astro Navbar we just did. The menu icon with a self-closing tag. And in that icon, we're going to be doing like a class. Let's just see how it looks first. Okay, let's see how it looks. We need to bring it up in the layout. So we have here, right before the slot, we're going to do the nav right here. And we're going to import the nav from import nav from components / nav Astro. So we should have that, the self-closing tag. So we have the nav right there. Menu is not defined. So let's see where we are doing that issue, where we are facing that issue. So menu right here. Oh, we didn't have a menu. Oh, it should be menu icon right here. So we see our icon in here. We see our navbar in here. It's working. So now what we are going to be doing is we have the JD. We need to do some flex box, of course, or a little bit of a flex. But for now, we're going to be adding a couple more items. So menu items. We need a closing tag in here, and then on other list, close on other list, and then yep. So let's see on the thing if we can copy anything. Let's just do this. We're not going to drop down, so just copy this too. So home, about, and we're gonna have a project, something called a projects. You'll see how it looks like. So that's good. Now this also need to be we need to have some classes. For example, you see they have like a hidden, and so they're using Flexbox. So we're gonna be just copying their classes, whatever they use. It looks like they use a color for the menu icon, which is the wrong color. We're gonna do white because otherwise it won't be able to see the menu. Since we have a dark background, so we have the white there. And they use hidden, so it's like hides on the mobile. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe. So let's see. So it's hiding on the mobile. You see, it opens up. And but thing is, we should open up right here. So there's some issues going on with that. We add a class in here when it comes to like our large screen. So LG will be hidden when only if there is a large screen. So there you have this. Yep, there you go. So large screen hidden. We can do like a medium on that to MD. So you have it hidden on MD stays. Now we are going to be doing some flexbox in here to kind of make it on the right here like a row. So let's do that. So we have a flex of column initially, but when it goes to large, we want to flex of row, and let's add some gap on the big screen, gap of 5. So here we probably want to have this on the right, so logo on the left, this thing on the right. So for that, we're going to be adding some new classes. Right now we have like a weird weird looking menu here. So the way to fix it is we're going to add a flex in here. So the whole thing is a flex instead of just a little part inside it. So LG flex right there. And then here we're gonna use a width of full. So we have like a justify between them. So full width, we have a justify between, which is cool, is working. We also need to add some padding. That's a padding of 5. That means padding up, down, left, right is equal to 5. And then let's do a gap of 5 as well. So we have this, and here we have this. So this on the smaller screen, and then we have this on the larger screen. So I think it hides on the LG, so we just do that so it doesn't have a perfect smooth. So small screen, big screen, awesome. So it's working. We have our logo, right? Cool. So we can do is yep, that's how we can do some anchor link in here. So add some anchor link. Here we do href of home right here. We need to same anchor link for the logo as well. So there, let's do an anchor link of projects, and let's do an anchor link of href about here. So we have that working for us. Let's create that. We go to projects. The route is not set up. Of course, we're gonna set those up. About is set up, so we have that. So cool, we have that going for us. Now let's see one thing on about. We haven't implemented the main layout, so let's bring that in. Main layout here. Layout, and this is an about page. So when we go to the about page, to import it, of course, here's the front matter, and we're gonna import the main layout from, we go to layouts, then main layout.astro. We have the navbar in there as well on the about page, and every style has been added, which is pretty cool. So we have that going about, and yep, so that's so great. We have that working, and in here we are going to be fancying it up a little bit. In here we have a lot of work to do because we need the footer. We need to make sure it's for that purpose. I'm going to add a footer in here, and we're gonna style this out a little bit soon. So for that to be a little styled up, we're gonna add the gradient, which is we are going to go to the main layout and just add a gradient here. And we don't want any gap just in case, so gap of 0. And we're gonna add a footer right after this. So let's create a footer component here, and then we're gonna start adding that as well. Astro, and the fun matter, and we're gonna start writing our footer. So for footer, we're gonna do is a footer. Remember to use the correct semantic element, so we have a nice presentation. Also makes it SEO friendly. We're gonna do a small in here. We're gonna do copyright. We're gonna do and copy for the copy right logo, and then we have a span in here. Span closes, and in the span we're gonna write dash all rights reserved, and we're gonna ID. We're gonna add an ID just to show, do a like a JavaScript thing in here. Like we're going to generate the year using the JavaScript. So instead of writing 2023 like a static, I think it will be pretty cool to use a JavaScript in here. So let's do that. So this is our first JavaScript on our website. Not the first, but handwritten JavaScript. We have this, and then we're gonna do is document dot query selector. We're going to select copy, right, which is the ID, And then we're going to do this text content is equal to new date. So we're going to generate the date with JavaScript and then get full year. And then we're going to do is to string. So cool. We have that. It's just grabbing this part and then adding the date in here. So let's bring that footer into the layout, and we're going to start. So 2 is in here, footer from components. Yeah, there we go. So we have the footer. It's generating the number as well. So at right reserve, I think we might have misplaced it a little bit. So at right reserve will be outside of it, outside of the span. Yep. So I have a little space, and we need to add some classes, Tailwind classes. So text center, margin top would do auto, and padding Y for a little bit of padding. So we have that. It's right in the middle. All right, reserve. Great. So that works out, I think. Now we're going to be making it a little bit of fancy on the indexes. We're going to bring in some type action. So for that, we have to kind of do a CDN. So let's do Typed.JS. This is the one we're going to use. So we're going to do is grab that, or we can actually install it. I think that way it works. Instead of doing the CDN way, we can just do this, and I think this one is much more cleaner. And then we can do like a script tag in here. You can also do CDN, but I think this way is a little easier, since just grab one of these. Let's do this. I'm pretty sure they have something good. So this. So we have that, and let's add that in. On here, we're going to add some div for that, and ID is equal to type string, which is doing it here. So I'm just going to grab this. Cool, we have that. And for the paragraph, we're going to generate some paragraph. I am semantic, there to software engineer, and then we will do is paragraph, close it out. I emphasize it a little bit. Work with Astro, React, Next.js, and Node. Cool. And then we are going to do some span in here, which is a div. We're going to put it inside a div. And close that tag. And okay, right here. And then we're going to do is we're going to add a span in here. Close that span as well. And we're going to do some type ID is equal to type. So this is where the typing is going to take place. And yep, let's do that. It's not working, so we need to import type from Typed.js. So we have that working. Cool. So now we need to style things up a little bit. We need to have it in a loop. Let's do a type speed. Change the speed a little bit. It's too fast. And then we're gonna do loop is equal to true. So let's keep on looping. All right, so we have something going on for us. Now the thing is we need to make it center. So for that, we are going to be doing is here, we're gonna add class text center. I think this pretty much does it, but I think it would be great if we can put this inside in here. So we have a little bit there, really close to the main We do our margins top of 6. So yep, I think close to the main headline, so it looks a little nicer. Okay, cool. So we have something going on. You can also increase the font size, of course, but I think this looks okay. Now we need to do some new pages. So we need to create a project page where we have our projects, all our projects in. So projects.astro. And in here, we're gonna do is we're gonna have all our projects in. So we're going to bring in the main layout again. So import main layout from layout slash main layout.astro, and in here we're gonna do that main layout. Cool. So we have that going for us. And project, let's have something like here. Now for the main layout, we're gonna get this over with. So title is John Doe's project. So we go to projects right now. John Doe's project in here. SEO title projects with React, Astro, and SEO description. You can do as well. Some description here. Award winning project slash app with Astro, React, and Next.js. Yep. So that's what came to my mind. Is go to inspect. You can see it's taking in place of code, and then we have our main structure. So let's dive into that. Close the div, and here we are going to be doing an h1 close and replace projects there, and then just have the same width on that as well. The 6 by 12. This is going to be on the large, and on the regular it's going to be width is equal to 8 by 12. So we have that, and then margin auto on the left and right. So we have that. We're gonna increase the text as well. So text is equal to 4XXL, and margin top and bottom 2. I mean, let's keep it 5 for now. So projects, and then we're gonna have our div underneath. This is where all our project will be based in. So we're gonna have a couple of images with the anchor tag, and inside the anchor tag we're gonna have the images. So there's that. Now I'm going to paste in my image in the public file. So public slash images, and we're gonna have images in here. So you can find the images on the GitHub link down below. So yeah, okay, the images are here. Now these are the project name. Really weird names, but first thing came into my head. I just wrote it here. But yeah, you can go crazy with it, but I just kept it like that. So we have an image, and it's on the public images folder. Inside we have all the images. So let's bring in one image and see how it's working out. So we do this public, then we do images, then we do banter, PNG. We have the image showing up, which is good. Now let's do a couple more of these, and we do intros, we do tweet, like a Twitter, and we do report. And we also need some sizing, of course. So width will be 300 pixel on all of these. Height will be 300 pixel as well. Keep it pretty small. 300 pixels, and we copy paste this in here, in here, in here. That's good. We're gonna add a little bit of classes, so keep it rounded. Copy those classes in. So we have a rounded edge, I believe. Did it apply in here? We're gonna play around with that. So we have the images, we have the in place. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a grid in here. So grid, and when it's empty, we're gonna have grid columns of 2, gap. Usually we have a gap of 2 as usual, so we have that in there. So okay, this is not something out. We have the projects. So after that, we're going to, I think that's where we keep it like that on the project side of things. For some reason, it looks like it's not taking in effect. I probably have to restart my projects. Okay, cool. So it's taking in effect now. You see, we have the rounded edge, and we have the grid in place. So we added a grid, and we did like a column of 2, so two columns, and yeah, that's how it works. It looks pretty responsive as well. Nice. Now we need to do is href on all of this, and we're going to do is projects slash banter, and then for this we're going to do projects slash intros. Do this projects slash tweet right there, and fourth in here, which is a fourth project. I couldn't find a name for it, but yep, there we go. We don't have a page yet. We're gonna create a dynamic page for all of this, so it's gonna be a little easier. So if you guys know how to create a dynamic page with Astro, so there's that. We have this going on, pretty cool. And let's start with the dynamic pages. So the way to do dynamic pages, you go to the pages, you create a folder called projects, and inside the projects we're going to do open square bracket and projects, close square bracket, and Astro. If you use Next.js, it's the same thing. We do the same thing in Next.js as well. So in here we are going to be doing same thing, bringing in the layout. So there. So we're going to import main layout from dash layout slash main layout on Astro, and we are going to be incorporating that as well. So there we have it. And ESG, let's go to about let's go to projects. One of the projects. Okay, we need to get static block, of course. So we have that simple setup in here, and what we are going to be doing is get static props. So if you use Astro Next.js, you know this. So we have similar function to get static path, not props, path, get static path. We have that. Now async await is in Astro, you don't have to do await because the whole file is basically an async await function. It's like wrapped in the await. So all you do is async, and it should do the work for you. So there we have the return, and in the return we're gonna do some params is equal to let's do another projects, and the params should be for the first project it's a banter. So we have the banter params in there, and then we do for the second after the params we have we have props, and in that props we're gonna have a couple of things. Name is equal to banter, and description, some description. So we have something going on with the project banter, which is the parameter, which is this right here, which is the parameter. So we it knows we have a parameter called banter that exists. So we have some stuff in here, which is cool. Now we are going to be doing is we're going to make it into grabbing those. So cons projects. We're probably not going to use this, but I just want to keep it in case you guys want to use this. So we have we're grabbing the params, and then we're grabbing params is this. When we go here, this is we're grabbing that, and then the name and the description is we're grabbing from the props. So we have Astro dot props. So if the params is banter, the props are going to be this. So we have that situated. And next you do is let's do our H1 real quick. And then we just type in project. It's going to be name of the project. Let's go to banter. We have the project banter. Cool. And the next we do is open a paragraph tag, simple. And then the next we do is description here. So there we have some description, and we need to make sure we are having a nice layout in this. So we have that in place, and we add a class MX auto, and then we do some width, keep things a little smaller, 3x6. Okay, and also don't forget the image. We're gonna have a nice image in here. So all the project images will be also showing up here as well. So here we're gonna do is source. We're gonna use string interpolation there, and then we're gonna do is flash images flash. We're gonna do is project, which is the name of the projects dot png. Okay, missing the O there. And then we are going to be doing is width is equal to 600, height is equal to 600 as well. I think it looks okay, a little bigger, but it works out. And then we're gonna do is, of course, my favorite for any images is to add a rounded edge to it. So a nice edge, rounded edge to it. So that's about it for our part. Now we can also do some fast forward here. Let's say font is bold. And it's gonna add some, let's say, what do you call that? Some margin bottom of 4. Or let's do here margin top of 4. Okay, for some reason it's not applying. Okay, no problem. I think that should work. I will restart it one more time. So I think that's a great way to put it. So we have a nice description. Now let's do a couple more of these, of course, because we need banter. Then we have intros. Let's do capital on that. Then we have tweet, a small letter, because you'd have to match with the image file here. So keep it small letter. And then we have another one called foot. Right. And for the description, I think it looks a little too simple. I mean, let's check if all of them are working, by the way. So these are working. That's working. For the description, I actually have a description that was generated by ChatGPT, so I'm gonna keep it that way. Yeah, I just wrote like, give me some description about some software engineering project, and it kind of like gave me with React. I think I mentioned that, and then it gave me something like that. So Yep. It's a project, simple to do application build. Okay, we keep it like that on all of this. Kind of like a dummy text, so it doesn't really matter. But we have that going for us. Dynamic route. Awesome, awesome work. Now we need to switch with things, about page. So go to the about page. It's gonna be a little boring about page, but you guys know, you guys can play on with it, of course. So title is uh John Doe's about SEO title about John Doe, software engineer. For the SEO description, we're gonna keep it. Let's check the first line. First line there. Okay, we have some little error because the string is too long, probably. So we can do is take that and join them in a separate line. Let's check that out in the head if it's working. All right, cool. So we have a nice description here. We can keep getting it even longer with more like more adding of the strings. But if the string goes too long, JavaScript gives us some errors. So the way to do it, just I think it's a good. We have like a nice SEO friendly on the about page. Help us find more people, drive more traffic in our sites, which is cool. So we start with the div in here, and we're gonna do is an h1 of course, and then we're gonna do is about, and here we do a class of text 5xl. Did I do 5xl on the other? Yeah. So, and here we are going to doing some width magic. So width is 6 by 12. And MX of auto, of course. So there we have that. So that's working for us. Here we're gonna add our image, just something I found uh, on Splash. But you can also have your own image to have give you more like a personal touch to it. So public slash images slash about JPG. And then size is equal to 200 pixels. Well, not the size, the width, the to height, like that. And yeah, I think it's alright. Increase the size a little bit or the width. I'm not sure how bigger we can go. It's kind of like in here, so it's not going out of this range. Which is okay. I think we should be good with that. So if we leave that out, we should have that range in there. So there we have that, and cool. I'm going to use some classes in here as well. The class is equal to margin y of 2. There we have it, and then we're going to do some paragraph. Oh, this is also generated from ChatGPT, so I'm just gonna copy paste it. A lot of writing, but you can like go to the GitHub and copy paste it. So yeah, I went to ChatGPT and told them, hey, what is give me some bio paragraphs of some software engineers using React and stuff like that. So they kind of gave me this. I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining. Come on, it looks pretty dope. So yeah, there's that. I think we have everything in place pretty much. Some styling is missing, so let's add that to it. So Tailwind can do some really awesome work with styling, so we're gonna start with that. So let's do a shadow of medium. So a little bit of shadow MD, and then we're gonna do is drop shadow of 10 pixel, 10 pixel. Oh, that should be underscore instead of a dash. So 10 pixel underscore 35 pixel. And then we're going to do RGBA, which is 39 to 45. Make sure there's no space in between these numbers. And then 3.3. And then we close out the square bracket. This gives you a little nice touch to it. And I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. And it's gives you like a nice, so you just can kind of copy paste this. Go to our index. Let's go to our index and go to our index at the same time in here. And I'm going to copy paste this in our H1. Just look at a little nice shadowy situation there, but it's not the best. So we're gonna do is 0 pixel. We're gonna add 35 pixel in there, and we're gonna increase the opacity a little bit to 6. So really nice shadow of the font. And this all changes. You see the shadow changes as well with the font, which is pretty cool. I think I like it. And the project look a little too boring, so I'm just gonna light that up as well, like a Christmas tree. So it's super boring. Yeah, I think CSS font is always awesome. So you can like always use some Tailwind to light things up a little bit. So we're gonna do it here. There you go, lighting it up. Pretty cool. I think it works pretty great, but again, it's a little off-sided. You see on the right a little bit, so we're gonna fix that with this and increase the opacity as well. So there we go, nice lighting up like our portfolio. I kept it a little bit dark on this one, but I don't know, you guys can play around with it. Like if I do a little bit of high color, because there's too much text in here, I left it like a little bit dark, but I think this works. This is not bad. This works out. So we have that in place. So there we have it. Astro JS, Astro JS portfolio. So pretty cool, easy to work with. You see how simple it is to build a portfolio. We did some SEO work, like a nice SEO work on the layout. We kept everything in one place, and then we kind of bring it into the layout to keep it nice and tidy. And we use the power of props to kind of make changes to every pages. So every page is discoverable, and you have like a nice, like people would probably able to find you on Google easily. So there's that. We use Astro SEO, we use Tailwind CSS, we use Typed.JS, we use Google Font, everything you need to build a really nice portfolio. So now all you have to do is give your own touch to it, add more stuff to it. I kept it very simple, but you can add a logo, you can add a favicon in here, which would be in here. So you add the favicon in here, generate a favicon online somewhere, and just add it here. Now the next part, I'm pretty sure you guys would be wondering, is how do I deploy it? Now, this is the cool part about Astro. The deployment is so awesome what you can do with Astro deployment. So they have like a really awesome documentation of deploying your site. So here, when you go to deploy Astro and guys /deploy your site, you can deploy it in all of this, which is cool. But the thing is, deploying for some of the process is different. So I'm not gonna go into in more details on how to deploy it in one of these, but it's super easy when you just follow the diagram in here, and that's it. You're done. It's only 3 steps. So you install an adapter, then it will automatically add some config on the Astro config. If it doesn't add that by itself, you copy paste this and add it here. And the next thing you do is, do the edge function, and then how to deploy. You go to the web dashboard, you log in on the Netlify using your email address, GitHub. You set up, you import the project, you do the build, Astro build, and then you publish it. So pretty simple, straightforward, easy to do. Like I recommend using Netlify or Vercel. Cool part about Vercel is they also come with an analytic. Like you can have like analytic of how many people visiting your site, stuff like that, which is super awesome. I really like Vercel, but Netlify, I'm not sure. I used it a long time back. I'm not sure what they added in the new stuff, the new features. But these are the two I recommend. Go ahead, follow this, and it should be good to go. So that's all for my portfolio project, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Right now, I'm coming back with more tutorials, so I need your support. Make sure you sign up for the Discord. I have a Discord server. You follow my Twitter, follow my Twitch. I sometimes stream on Twitch as well, and my Instagram. Follow me on my Instagram. So I will be bringing in more tutorial like this, fun and something that will definitely help you in your career. So this, for example, portfolio, if you're trying to apply for a job right now, I think right now is a great time to showcase your skills. Like tell them I just learned Astro from scratch a couple of weeks back and just put a portfolio together. I use some of this technology with Astro. It's really fun. I think it will help you get more interviews and get more jobs. So definitely subscribe, like, and make sure the link to GitHub is down below. Check that out if you are stuck in one of the instance of the tutorial. But other than that, take care. Peace.